Hey, what's up, guys? I hope everyone is well. This video is on the panel lottery and defective displays, as well as how to be your own advocate in deciding if a display is defective and what you should do in regards to a replacement or returning it. I did a video a few months back on this subject, but those of you that are new to the channel or also have picked up 4K displays for the first time, trying to explain what the panel lottery actually is, as it's not a new term, but unfortunately it's becoming very common that these displays are defective and there's just too many variables to really decide what's defective and what's an inherent flaw with the technology. So quickly, an inherent flaw to technology would be thinking an OLED is not bright enough, or the viewing angle on an LED is washed out. These are inherent flaws. These are limitations of the actual technology. What we're talking about is dead pixels. We're talking about vertical banding. We're talking about flash lighting. We're going to cover flash lighting a little bit more in depth because I think some of you guys are seeing blooming and thinking that it's flash lighting. We're talking about edge lip bleed, things that just definitely are wrong with these displays, and you guys knowing the terminology and what that is so you can send these things back before your window closes. And I do recommend buying somewhere that has a very clear return window, something that is 30 days. Best Buy, if you get their elite status, I think it's 40 days. Just so you can get a TV and really test it. Test it with gaming. And the best way to test it is what you're seeing right now, which is a film with black bars to really determine how that picture is going to look. Now, back to why I'm doing this video is that the panel lottery used to be pretty rare as far as getting a display that didn't work. Back in the days of LCD, 1080p, and plasma, if the thing turned on, you were pretty much good to go. Plasma would have some dithering and some instant burn-in. You knew that was a problem. LCD kind of always had clouding because they were edge-lit, but typically you wouldn't even see that during normal viewing. You'd see that on loading screens. It would be there, and then you wouldn't see it at all. So what we're seeing now is a community of this channel, the Whisper Status channel, has 670 subscribers, and it's growing. What I'm finding is about 50% of you that actually comment are going through this problem right now. 3 of you I want to name is the Crazy Unboxer, who has had trouble with 2 900Es in a row, both having pretty bad flash lighting. Fade to Black, who has gone through a 900E, a Z9D, an OLED, a 930E, and now another 930E. Antoine Butler, who has gone through a 940E, a 930E, and then replaced his 940E with another one, and it's perfect. So my point is, these are all very high-end displays, and they're finding that the replacement totally rectifies what was wrong with the other one. Antoine, for instance, bought the 940E, really liked it, but noticed that for a display to be so full array, he was finding there was a lot of clouding, there was a lot of blooming in certain areas. He took the chance, sent it back, got the new one, and most importantly, guys, he did get some blowback from the retailer. And this is where you have to be careful, and why I want you guys to know what inherent flaws are. They're going to try and tell you that's normal. They're going to try and tell you that for an edge-lit display, there is definitely going to be edge-lit bleed. This is common. Well, it's up to you to kind of say, it's not common, I'm not okay with it, I'd like another display. The minute you start to waver, they will keep you at bay until your window closes, and then you're stuck with it. And believe me, guys, when you're stuck with it, Samsung, Sony, LG, they're terrible as far as what, they don't have to replace it. They don't even have to fix it. So Antoine, was able to stand up to the person, got himself another 940E, and it's proof because whatever issue he had with his other 940E, he doesn't have now. The reason why you're seeing a still image in the background, guys, is I don't want to get a copyright flag and have this taken down. So that's why you're going to just see the static image. So I apologize, I don't have a movie in the back. So Antoine's all set, but he was watching the screen, he knew something was wrong. Crazy Unboxer has a 900E, and it's just really bothering him with the blooming. He shouldn't have blooming, or he shouldn't have flashlighting, but he feels like it's there, and he's not exaggerating. He's having an issue, and now he's having an issue replacing it. But if it's bothering you guys, and you know it's there, and you know it's not supposed to be there, do not hesitate. Replace it. Fade to Black had a 900E with very poor motion, which is rare because it's got the best pixel speed or pixel response and motion out of all TVs this year, not OLED. So here he is with a 75-inch 900E with poor motion. He takes that back. He gets the 75-inch Z9D, and the motion on that one is perfect, which is odd because Z9D is known to have some motion issues. So then he sells the Z9D because it's a pretty expensive display, and he picks up the 930E, I believe, and found that it had terrible edge-lit problems and sent that back. Ended up with an OLED. He liked it initially, found the up conversion to be a problem, didn't like that. Now that would be an inherent flaw in that technology, at least in what he's saying. And then he goes back to the 930E. Now here's the proof, guys. The second 930E was night and day compared to the 930E he had before. So what are we learning here? We're learning that it's not your imagination. If you have an issue with a display, if you have flashlighting or edge-lit bleed, and then you replace it and that next display doesn't have it, that's clearly telling you there's a problem. Now, in my opinion, why this is happening is the chase to get brighter, the chase to get thinner bezels, displays that are very, very thin width-wise and also in the framing of the display, and trying to squeeze that brightness into it. Samsung really struggled last year with the KS series. They were amazing TVs, super bright. Their design, beautiful. But I had, well known on this channel, I had about 7 or 8 of them that had terrible flashlighting, terrible edge-lit bleed problems. I just think trying to get that design so thin and making it so bright, that caused problems. The following year, which is now the QLED, is not quite as bright. So that tells me they tried to fix it by chilling with the brightness just a little bit. Now, we're seeing the same issues with the Sony 930E, which is also edge-lit. I recommend the 930E to any of you guys. I think it's a fantastic TV. I think it's got crazy brightness. The next video is actually going to be probably the 930E or the 900E, which TV you like. But the 930E being edge-lit, you risk that edge-lit bleed or flashlighting. So it only, in my opinion, that TV also maxes out at 65 inches because I think they find it hard to control edge-lit at 75. So back to the panel lottery, what that actually means and how you can discern it is, in my opinion, when you get your display, because a lot of you guys have gotten it from Black Friday, is be very careful when that display is delivered. Make sure whoever's pulling it out of the box, you'll see the delivery men tend to reach in. And if you look at the way these TVs are packaged, you'll see a little bit of room for your hand to grab the display. Make sure they don't squeeze the bezel. A lot of times I think they do is the delivery person grabs it, they squeeze the bezel, they pick it up, you power it on, it looks fine, you bring it downstairs or in a dark room, and you'll see edge-lit bleed or you'll see flashlighting. Also, run these things hard as much as you can initially. And it's not just for any display. I mean, you're finding that OLEDs, some of the people in the OLED video for burn-in are finding burn-in immediately. That is not an inherent flaw. That's a problem with the display. So you guys really need to be your own advocate. Be very, very firm when you contact. Use the contact the retailer, Amazon. Be very, very firm. Be patient. Ask for a replacement. Try to keep things off your credit card. Keep things from being held on your credit card. My situation, I returned a display. My credit card had a hold on it. They lost the display. So you have to be very, very careful with that. Now, quickly, what I wanted to do is also cover flashlighting a little bit, simply because right now we also have a little too much knowledge those of us that are watching these channels, we know what we're looking for. Flash lighting, everybody, is really something that starts at the bottom of the display and juts up. So starting here into the black bars. Usually you can see it right on the corner. Edge-lit bleed is something that you'll see. It looks like a drip in the corners of the display. It's usually right here. Excuse me. Now, LED displays, if you think you have flash lighting and you step off to the side, I don't care if you step off to the side even a little bit, you will notice that your black bars will turn gray. That's an inherent flaw of LED. That is not flash lighting. If you see brightness in, say there's a bright scene here, and this appears slightly gray, that's not flash lighting, that's blooming. And even the Z9D and those really great full array displays will have occasional blooming. Now the 940E, the Z9D will have less than a 900E due to the amount of zones that those displays have. My 940E had 0 blooming. Antoine's had a ton of blooming. Another person on another channel, Dat Beastly Boy, has a 930E, and he was trying to figure out if he had flash lighting. You can check out his channel, Dat Beastly Boy, and Fade to Black. Check out his channel to see his displays and the journey he's going through. He's happy now, by the way. But Dat Beastly Boy, when I was looking at his videos, when I would see a calm scene, there wasn't anything in the black bars. And he has a 930E, by the way. By the time something bright would come into this area, you would see it halo a little bit. Again, not flash lighting. That is just blooming. And that's because that's a 1300 plus nit display. Trying to keep those black bars black is nearly impossible. If you want black bars, guys, that are going to stay black, you're going to need to go into OLED. And that's just kind of the fact. But if you see flash lighting, again, going back into it, flash lighting is going to come from the bottom of the screen and it's going to judder in. For the Samsung displays and the 930E, you can actually see it in the corners kind of shoot in. And chances are it's not going to be uniform. You'll see it on one side versus the other. So I know this is a long-winded video, guys. Be your own advocate. Make sure that the problems you have are the actual problems. And when you're talking to the retailers, be firm, but be nice. The minute you start getting yelling, you'll lose them. So hang in there, guys. Hit me up with any questions you have about flash lighting or any of the problems with the lottery. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.